Welcome back. It's time for our afternoon business chat here on the KTN News Desk. And the question is, what's in a name? Andrew Mack joins me from AM Global to tell me exactly that. Karibu sana. You've been doing a lot of good work, Andrew, globetrotting, talking about NGOs. What exactly are you up to?
Well, we're working with a group called the Public Interest Registry, which are the people that run .org globally. And .org is in the process of launching 2 new domains together as a package, .ngo and .ong, to serve the global NGO community.
Right. How different is it from ONG? I mean, ORG has been working perfectly.
Right. No, .org is one of the original top-level domains, if you will, when the internet was just founded. I think it's been around since 1985.
Right.
And it works beautifully. It is like com and like net, an open domain, which is to say that anyone can get a name in .org.
Right.
We worked around, as you may know, the internet space is expanding tremendously. There are almost 2,000 new .somethings that are coming onto into the public space over the course. It's already started. So over the course of the next year and a half, you'll see a lot of new domains that are available. And when we talked with the people from .org, they said, we'd really like to create a new space specifically only for NGOs around the world. And so we spoke, we did a series of really significant, talking about globetrotting, we did a series of significant outreach to members of the NGO community all around Africa. I've spoken to groups in Morocco and Cameroon and Senegal and Kenya, but also all around the world, different places, with the idea to make sure, is this something that the NGO community wants, and how should we structure it as a back end so that the NGO community can make it their own.
Right. Andrew, a lot of NGOs, like you said, have traveled widely, and they have a common problem, and that is visibility. They're looking out to connect with their donors, with their collaborators, and one of the USPs of your product right now is that it enhances that. How exactly does that do?
Well, if you think about it right now, let's say you're a tourist that comes to the Mara, right, and has a wonderful experience. They get connected to Kenya, and they decide they want to go and find an NGO locally to contribute to. Where would they go? Chances are they go to a search engine, right? And they'd be looking, and they'd get an undifferentiated kind of response, which might be it might be something that they're interested in, but it might not be. It might, frankly, in some instances, as we've seen in the cases of the Haiti disaster, or when there was the tsunami in Japan, scam sites go up in different places. You want to know that, number one, you want to be able to find an organization that speaks to your interests and the things that you want to connect to. And the second thing is you want to know that they're real. And having this kind of a space with a vetted content, allowing that's only open to NGOs, is an opportunity for people to know that they're making a connection with a real NGO, the kind of NGO that they're looking for, and to do it safely.
The issue of valid organizations, I mean, there are scams that come up every day.
Sure.
You've also mentioned, I was going through your brochure, and it talked about that you were able to do what you're calling self-vetting. How does that happen?
So there are two kinds of, there are two stages of the process. That when you apply for a .ngo, .ong, and you get them together as a package, what happens is that you go to the website and you self-certify that you are, in fact, a public interest organization. You're not primarily a company. You're not an arm of a company or a political party or a government. You're independent, right? And that you're actually working, that you're active. And then you upload a credential of some sort or another. It can be the certificate from your country that says that you are an NGO. In some countries, there's a database, and you point to your ID number. In some countries where there's not a formal system, it'll be a letter of reference. But the idea is...
So before you set this up, you have to go through that. You have to
That's right. And the idea is very, very simple. We're not trying to set up something to keep people out. But we want enough of a speed bump so the scammers and the people who are not in favor of the goals of the NGO community don't find it easy to come in. And when you go into the .ngo space online, the .ngo community, that it is a real community and that it's a safe community.
Right. Mack, there are lots of great global NGOs that are doing a lot of good work, but there are also a lot of those small, tiny little NGOs that do not have a budget for administration. They cannot run a website. They cannot buy the NGO domain. Where do you live that?
How does that work? Yeah, sure. Okay, well, you have, if you will, you have two different kinds of NGOs that you see, right? you have what one of my friends in Ecuador calls the bingos, the big international NGOs, right? And then you have a lot of the smaller organizations, local organizations. And for them, obviously, the visibility is a major issue. There's also the question of finding partners, right? What you're starting to see more and more is the big international donors, whether they be foundations or international organizations that are offering funds, will say, we want you to partner with local people, both to improve your effectiveness and also to reach people on the ground, build up local capacity. How are they going to find those people, right? Now, you mentioned the idea of most NGOs, as you say, are not techies, right? They don't have a tech department. They don't have anybody who knows how to do this. One of the things that you get as part of becoming part of the .ngo community is the ability to be in the searchable database, but also the ability to put up a simple web page as part of the portal. And literally, you don't need to know anything about technology to make that work. It's a drag and drop kind of setup where you can use the portal space as your web presence. You wouldn't need to do any hosting or anything like that. You can actually use it for yourself. And if you wish to, you can make that as an opportunity to receive funds from donations.
Right. Excellent. Mark, our time is up, but give us the dates. When is this finally coming to Kenya?
This is finally coming to Kenya for the initial period of time, just for trademark holders. It's going to be open in the fall, but general availability for the entire world is going to be starting in January. We're actually probably going to be doing a big kickoff on the continent at the ICANN meeting in Morocco, and we look forward to having as many Kenyan NGOs participate as possible. We're also having a conference with 100 NGOs tomorrow at Silver Springs. I'm looking forward to seeing people there.
All right. Andrew Mack, asante sana.
Thank you very much, Bob.
Indeed, there is a difference that a name makes, indeed.